Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Press Play. I'm your host, JJ48, and tonight we should be finishing The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages, which will also complete our playthroughs of the Oracle series as a whole. So, uh, last time we had beaten the final dungeon and went through the Hero's Cave with its actually rather unfair puzzles in a couple of cases. Although I think one of the things I had forgotten with the Hero's Cave is I think each floor was kind of laid out to correspond to a certain level, and I did go and grab the our harvest rings from our two Gasha seeds. Just gonna check them out real quick, just in case we get the green ring. Uh, we already have the expert's ring and the charge ring. Okay, still don't have the green ring. We'll make do with what we do have. I think right now I have the blue ring equipped. Probably going to keep that equipped unless I really need to. The red ring is nice for traveling around the overworld, but I'm realizing more and more that in dungeons it's really nice to have that extra protection because I'm not very good at avoiding getting hit. Okay. You've collected all 8 essences of time and know their power. Thanks to you, time flows true in me again, and I remember all I had forgotten. I'm the Guardian of Nehru, Oracle of Ages, and my Meku seed can be used only by a hero who knows the powers of the essences of time. The hero who knows the essences of time sees unwavering truth across time and space. If you can do this, you can stop Veran. Take this. Okay, we got a huge Meku seed. This world is ours to manipulate. No matter how much you struggle, the dark rites will begin soon. And these lasses are mere bugs. Bugs before a fire. Oh ho ho ho. Oh no. Ah, my dad turned to stone. Still no concern for the other guy who also turned to stone. I know it is hard, but don't give up. If you maintain hope, I am sure your father will play with you like he used to. I don't know, that seems a little bit, just kind of wishful thinking there, Zelda. You might want to have a little bit more of an explanation for the reason for hope. Um, Remember our name as if it were sorrow, the name of Twinrova. Oh ho ho ho! The evil king's revival begins. Oh ho ho ho! I shouldn't say this, but a world of sorrow is a world doomed. Why shouldn't you say that? That actually seems like pretty good advice. Uh, Something to keep in mind. You must stop Queen Ambi at the Black Tower and cast down Veran, please. Okay. I will do my best. Hopefully I can remember how this fight goes. Um, I'm trying to think if I should go buy some medicine or not. I think I'm going to hold off on that just because uh, it would take a little while to do it, and I think it's expensive enough that I wouldn't be able to buy a second one. So better to go in and fail learning the pattern and then get it for the second attempt than to... Oh, okay. Or just fail to go in altogether. because of course we need to go into the pass, and I think I might need to play this outside the Black Tower area altogether. Yep. You were sent back by a strange force. Okay, so let's... Of course, the one spot where there's... I don't think I ever really appreciated that before, that this river doesn't exist in the past. That river does, but I guess it doesn't flow that way. Whoop. Okay, I guess we're not talking to Maple at the moment. So, you finally made it. I came to destroy Veran. Veran has taken control of Queen Ambi, right? Then to beat Veran, I must defeat Queen Ambi. Well, Queen Ambi, Veran, I'll destroy the both of you. Then the people of this age and of our age will have peace. But what will happen to me? Don't forget me. I mean, I think of you as a friend. Okay, I'm going. Ralph can do it. Goodbye. Ralph, you haven't accomplished anything this entire game. You'd just be throwing your life away. I was researching the past and found something awful. Ralph is a descendant of Queen Ambi. Do you know what this means? Ralph lives now because Ambi lived in the past. If Ambi is slain, Ralph will never exist. I came to try to stop Ralph, but I couldn't. Please, stop Ralph. He means to sacrifice himself for the people of this age by slaying Queen Ambi. I can't allow Ralph to make such a sacrifice. Well, depending on how time travel works, that could be bad for more than just Ralph, because... I mean, if he slays Queen Ambi and then never existed, we could end up with a time paradox, which would affect the entire world, not just him. But yeah, we'll do it for him as well. I too ask for your help. All people, not just those of this age, will meet with great misfortune. Nehru, Imp, and I will try to give strength to the people. We're counting on you. Okay. Okay. You know, for wanting me to go after Ralph, they sure took a bit of time telling me about it. This is blocked off, isn't it? Yeah. It's dangerous past this point. There are beasts everywhere, and you can't even find your way to the top without getting lost. What's going on? Not that I really need the rupees at this point. Oh. Okay. I do think it's interesting since we're going against a queen that, for once, having knights in uh, in the lineup here kind of makes sense. They need not even necessarily be evil knights. Ehehehe. JJ48, your struggles seem fruitless. Behold, time has been disrupted in Labrynna. The people have lost all joy and are filled with sorrow. Oh ho ho ho. Ehehehe. I wonder if the ehehehe and the oh ho 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 are meant to represent, like, which one of them is speaking. Or laughing. Cackling. The time comes. Already the flame of sorrow is lit. The flames of sorrow and destruction burn brightly. Only the flame of despair remains. Ehehe. When the 3 flames are lit, we will offer the sacrifice and complete the dark rites. Then the evil king shall return. Oh ho ho. So who are you explaining this to? Are you guys like just telling each other out loud what your plans are? Nothing that way. Black Tower turret. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see where we go. Okay, get rid of this guy. I kind of feel bad for these guys just trapped in their narrow little hallways, blundering about just in case an enemy appears. Let's see what the owl statue has to say. Truth glares at your back. Okay. Are these like statues of heads or something? They look odd. Oh. Okay, the one that was behind me, follow it. Now, sure is taking its time. There we go. Ow. These look like lizard heads or something, or maybe like rock men or something weird like that. And then giant Medusa heads. You must be Ralph of Amby's line. Ha! I have no time for such a small fry. Begone with you. Or do you mean to fight me? Don't make me laugh. Fool, this is the body of Amby's, your ancestor. If you slay me, you will vanish from this world. Do you still wish to fight? You trickster! Fine, if I slay you, I vanish. Maybe it is terrifying, but if I must, I must. To do nothing and live just isn't me. Then it means nothing. I will destroy you to protect the people of this age, and to protect Nehru! Good job, Ralph. Oh, because of my kindness, young Ralph still lives. But you still attack me? If you damage Ambi's body, Ralph will vanish. You can't intend to end your dear friend's life by your own hand. First of all, I wouldn't say he's a dear friend. Secondly, I've already managed to get you out of one body without damaging the person you were possessing, so it wouldn't sound quite so smug. And what are these statues here? Looks like a head on the top, like maybe some weird eyes or something. Kind of odd angles. And that's an odd-looking body. Sorry, distracted by the architecture in art this week, I guess. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's if this is a head, like down to here with the nose or something, it's very animalistic. It's not human at all. That voice, I couldn't do it. Don't I look the fool? No more so than usual. Nehru. You came despite my warnings. Do you not value life, or are you a mere fool? Regardless, it won't be easy. I'll teach you your place. I'll not be as kind as before. Okay, so let's see. I think we're gonna want mystery seeds and switch hook. Okay, it was a little too high. I think for this fight, I'm actually going to use the red ring just in case. Whoop. Ugh, I never expected to be beaten by this boy. Why not? I mean, you didn't really change up much from the last fight. Oh, what happened? I feel as though I've been caught in a bad dream, as if pure evil had inhabited my body. That is an oddly specific feeling, and yet not inaccurate. What? I must leave at once. I see worry in your eyes. I should have done as I was told. Well done. I thought I might possess you this time. Perhaps you have a different flavor from that fool Ralph. You've seen me like this before, but this is my true form. You'll regret making me show my true might. I'll give you reasons to fear Veran, Sorceress of Shadows. Okay, let's do this because I don't remember what her pattern is or what we're trying to do. I'm going to guess that jumping will be good. Wow, that, I guess was marginally more difficult than the other fight. Yeah, Veran, you really should have thought this through better. This should not have happened to me! Are you alright? You did it! Even I thought it was over this time, but Nehru was there. She can't always remain helpless. I'm going to train so I'll be able to protect Nehru on my own. You've finally beaten Veran. Now the chaotic flows of time should return to normal. Shall we go back to the village? You won't get away so easily. Okay, shove them out of the way. For some reason I couldn't continue walking myself after doing so. How cold of you to run off and leave me all alone. But my, aren't you courageous? You've spoiled all my plans. I hope to avoid revealing this vile shape. You'll pay for my humiliation with your life. Now it is your turn to taste despair. And the fear of death. I might have said this last time, but actually that form isn't really any more hideous than your normal form, so... Oh, okay. I don't know how to hit this form. Can I get behind her? No. Let's see. Look, change into some other form. This is the... Oh, let's try bombs, because this is giving me bombs. Okay, that's... I hope it's not some kind of timing thing that I have to hit her like... Whoa. I'll try to get a bomb where she for her spider silk. Okay. You ever gonna use your spider silk again? No. Okay. Ow! Okay, that was pretty bad luck on our part because I am 100% certain that the first time we fought her, when we played this game first, that she either wasn't in that form or wasn't in it very long. And of course we start all over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go get... Can I just warp out of here? That would be very helpful. No, of course not, because that would be convenient. Look, I'm on a completely different level from you guys. How are you even hitting me? Okay, this... There we go. No? Yep, there we go. Okay, let's do this. Oh, come on. Okay, I'll also keep the blue ring next time because apparently I'm not hitting her with my sword as much as I thought. Look, can any of you guys drop hearts? That would be very helpful. One room I don't want to rush through. Because I don't want to run into those things. There we go. That's rather helpful. Let's see. Hey, you're new. So what's with this gloomy uncertainty anyway? Let's see, nothing can really help there. Okay. Unfortunately, Maple didn't have a potion on her. Okay. Sorry, Maple. Kinda just in a hurry to try to get this. And getting an extra heart or two to stop this beeping wouldn't go amiss either. Magic potion, yes. Okay, now let's go. Okay, there should be fairies in the great in the Maku tree, so it can fill up there. Just need to make sure that I don't accidentally that I don't get caught this time. Her running into me was not great, but it wasn't terrible. It was when she caught me that she did massive damage. Oh, hey, gosh, a seed. Don't need that, because won't really be going off and planting anything else. Yes, thank you. bad Mary's busy, like, guarding his house, because unlike Ralph, he'd probably actually be a pretty big help in this fight. Let's see. Did it again. It does make it a little bit irritating that if we fail at any point in the fight, we have to do the entire fight over and have to go through this entire tower again if we need to like prepare. Actually, we need to do it twice because we start at the top and have to make our way down and then back up. Okay, all three of them are down there. That's good. We still have to go through that animation again. Okay. There we go. We're gonna need that. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. That. And that. Dude! I don't know if this goes to the same one every time, or if it's random, so we'll just follow it just in case, and hope that they actually, okay. We'll still full up for the Veran fight. Okay. Have my blue ring on. So I think with my level 3 sword, it shouldn't need the red ring. There we go, good. Okay, you keep pressing there, Ralph. Oh, for crying out loud. Ah. crying out loud. Okay. Yep, Ambi wakes up. Bad dream, evil inhabited. Yes, you should go. Dodge Veran. Oh, that's right. We still have to get through this form first. Don't need that. Okay. Go through the cutscene. Oh, yay, I'm alright. Yes, Veran is completely defeated. She will certainly not return in any other form. Let us go back to the village. But oh no, there's Veran's voice. Where is it coming from? Okay. I'm not doing a very good job of just flying a figure eight. I can just wait for her. Ah, my body withers, but you are too late. My role was to disrupt the currents of time. See, if she had just stuck in the spider form, I never would have gotten her, but for some reason she didn't use it this time. To flood humanity in sorrow, the despair that fills this land has already passed through this tower and on to Twinrova. I see it, burning blue, the flame of sorrow, ha ha ha, I'll be waiting to haunt you, and the evil King Ganon will plunge the world into darkness. Hopefully it saves after this, and we get another checkpoint. Because that if we fall in the Twinrova or Ganon fights, hopefully we won't have to do this again. What's happening inside? I'm just being awesome. I am so glad you're safe, thank goodness. You really beat Veran, didn't you? Nice work, you're amazing. Huh? Queen Ambi? She saw you get shut in and turned and ran. Let us go. What? Are you going to take on Ralph? You're safe. I just called my knights from the palace to help since you were locked inside the tower. Don't startle me like that. I thought Veran's tricks had gotten you. Yay, the knights were being helpful. Thanks to you, everyone is back to normal. I thank you. Oh, poor bunnies. My respect for you has grown. I thought it was over when you got locked in the tower. I never thought you'd outdo me. Ralph, never mind. Oh, it's terrible. Zelda, oh Zelda, listen, just as the petrified townsfolk began to get better, Zelda and I cheered up a boy who was crying. And then suddenly, lightning. Oh ho ho ho! Wandering about? Foolish princess! Hee hee hee, we found you, Princess Zelda. Hope for the people, we'll snuff it out. And you shall light the flame of despair. Hee hee hee. The sacrifice is in our grasp. When Zelda, the people's hope, vanishes, this land will be stricken with despair. It is time. Ho 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 ho. The long-awaited flame of despair finally burns. The flames of sorrow and destruction have been lit by Veran and Nox? I think that's a bit of a misspelling there. That should be Onyx. Now the loss of Zelda fills all with despair. Oh, flames of sorrow, despair, and destruction, burn with the dark powers our disasters have wrought. Ehehe, he comes. Come now to the three flames, come from the darkest depths. Come, Ganon, evil king. I'm sure it goes without saying, but do not try that at home. Summoning evil kings is not a good idea. JJ48, the hero, you have overcome many trials and gained knowledge of the essences of time and nature. Only you can defeat Twinrova. Mystical power fills your body. I will come to your aid. Time, nature, hero of the essences, I am Din, Oracle of Seasons. Hurry! You've beaten Veran, but Twinrova's plans are not yet thwarted. The dark powers of the evil king are growing. The powers of we oracles will guide you to Princess Zelda, cast down Twinrova, and stop the evil King Ganon's revival. Surely you can do it. We're counting on you. May the divine protection of the Triforce be with the hero of the essences of time and nature. Okay, good. I can move around, so presumably this is a save point. Is that an eyeball? I'm kind of curious what it is with the Zelda series and just, like, Cyclopses. Okay, so let's see. This one's pointing down, that one's pointing right, that one's pointing up, so none of them can be pointing left. With this room, in case you missed it last time, these eyeballs will all point in different directions. There will be one direction that no eyeballs point in, and that's the direction you want to go in. So once I see 3 different directions, I know which way the 4th one is. Okay. Hey man. Okay, finally a different direction. There we go. So, JJ48, you've finally reached the altar. Father, we can't have you scampering about up here, so we've dragged you in here. Excuse me. The flames of sorrow, destruction, and despair burn brightly. The return of the evil King Ganon approaches. The holy sacrifice, Zelda, is all that remains. When we call Ganon's spirit into the vessel, it will be done. You can't stop us. Prepare to meet your doom. Excuse me just a second. I need to do something real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take care of something real quick. Okay, so prepare to meet your doom. Let's see if we can beat them. Oh ho ho! I did not think you would get so far, but I shall not fall like Onyx and Veran. Again, why do they keep saying Nox? See my true power. We'll sacrifice you so the evil king can return. Ah, that's right. We need to... I think we need to be able to do that. And then... maybe that. Oh, okay. Different boss. Maybe try shooting her with... Okay. Shooting her with Mystery Seeds did seem to do something. Okay, there's 3. Ah. Four. 5. Okay, there we go. Ho ho! Ganon's return was but a step away. It is not over. Our rites have failed, but by sacrificing this body, Ganon will return. Ho ho ho! Destroy all! Kill all! I'm doing damage to him. Not taking much damage. So hopefully, between this and my potion, I'll be able to... Oh, okay, he's reversed my controls. Whoa ho ho! I am the evil King Ganon! Okay, that was a surprisingly easy fight with the blue ring. Yes, wake up, Zelda. Ah, it's ended. Thank you. You halted the completion of the rites that would have revived Ganon. Since they could not sacrifice me in their final rite, the powers of darkness could revive only a mindless, raging Ganon. Your power, wisdom, and courage were able to prevent Twinrova's planned resurrection of Ganon. Now hope and peace can return to the hearts of the people. Thank you. You are a true hero. Let us return to the others. Oh no! The castle is crumbling now that the powers of Shadow wane. We must get out of here. Yeah, let's do that. What do we do? You did it! I knew you could. Leave this to me. So when in trouble, trust a tree. Welcome back. Now the world is at peace. I knew you could do it. And I knew you'd come back. Welcome back, Zelda. And you too, JJ48. It's all over, isn't it? I knew you would find a way. Let us dance together again. Zelda, I am glad to see you returned safely. JJ48, you are all I expected. I always believed in you. The 3 triangles on your left hand symbolize power, wisdom, and courage. These are the mark of the hero who is fated to appear when peace crumbles in Hyrule. With the essences of nature and time, and the courage you possess, you have fought back the powers of evil. The guidance of the Triforce has made you into this legendary hero. Thank you! Alright. Nice happy ending. And now we can see if... We've already seen the credit of Oracle of Ages once, but let's see if going through it, if there's anything different. There's Nehru and Ralph and the village kids. Din and her troop dancing again. Oh, and look, a Goron's come. Moosh flying for a lot longer than he used to be able to. Here's Dimitri. And Ricky. I never noticed Dimitri's horn seems to be broken off. I think we did have a couple different scenes that time, or at least we didn't have all the same scenes that we used to. Didn't see the scene of Ralph spinning around and getting dizzy. Didn't see a scene of Maple. Okay, we have restored peace to, well, not Hyrule, but Labrynna and Holodrum once again. Well, I guess we did kind of restore peace to Hyrule, in as much as if Zelda had been sacrificed, that would have probably thrown Hyrule into disarray. Just see if there's anything else we're missing here. Oh, pan up to see the Triforce. Triforce turned into birds. Or maybe they're just birds in the same spot. As Link sets out to sea for another adventure. Okay. And I'm trying to hit stuff. Doesn't seem like there's anything past this one. So okay. So that was Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages after Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. And now let's take a look at our kind of the story in general. Let's see. Where is it? It's this one. Okay. So as we were looking through, playing through these two games, and we played them both Ages to Seasons and then Seasons to Ages, and it seems to me that we actually have not one but three main stories. We have the at the top here we have the plot to revive Ganon. It's kind of the overarching plot. Twinrova wanting to use Veran and Onyx to light the flames. It includes these other two, Veran and her plot to conquer Labrynna, and Onyx and his plot to conquer Holodrum. But it's not both of those. Their only real connection with the main plot is wanting to revive Ganon, or yeah, wanting to revive Ganon. The only real interaction they have with that is wanting to light the flames, and so that allows them to be played in any order. Um, so the order isn't important. Either one can come before the other, as we saw as we played through both ways. For the two plots themselves, they both have their own story within their own game. We have Veran's plot to conquer Labrynna, and is very much more of a conniving, plotting type of plot. Except for her spider form, she's really not like a tough boss. And throughout the story, we're constantly interacting with her. There were several times, we saw her as first Nehru and then later as Ambi doing stuff working on the tower. We faced her a couple times. We faced her to free Nehru. There were a couple times that we interacted with Queen Ambi before she was possessed, when possessed Nehru was her advisor, and very much had um, the boss was very much kind of woven into the story there. In contrast, we also had Onyx's timeline, or his plot in Holodrum. Uh, he was more of just like the final menace and like the big bad guy that we were trying to get to, and didn't really have any real interaction with us throughout the story. Um, and all in all, this led to not just two different games with different plots and different dungeons, but two very different experiences altogether. Um, and so in Oracle of Seasons, we had more of a traditional Zelda experience, going back all the way to the original Legend of Zelda, where we kind of had the story at the beginning, and then we had the story at the very end, resolving it. And throughout the game, there wasn't a lot of interaction with the story. There wasn't a lot of story development. It was just, okay, Onyx has kidnapped Din. Seasons are in chaos, so now spend 8 levels getting ready to go fight Onyx and rescue Din. Um, Most of the focus. Both of the games had plenty of combat and plenty of puzzles, but it seemed like in Seasons, more of the focus was on the combat and on your fighting ability rather than on puzzles and on story. And this is even true of the main element of Oracle of Seasons, the seasons themselves. That once you unlock a season, it's pretty obvious what it does. You're on a screen, you see a tree that you'd like its leaves to fall off, and that would open up a path. You change it to winter. You see one of the rock mushrooms. You know you got to change it to fall. It's pretty obvious what you have to do. It's just doing it. That's the you're getting far enough to do it. That's the difficulty. What this does mean though is that there's a lot of places that we get to initially when we don't have all the seasons that we see, a rock mushroom or one of those stone flowers, or a wall that's going to grow vines on it, and we know that something will happen when we change the seasons. But since we don't have the ability yet, we have to come back later. And so I think, in addition to focusing on combat, it also focused a lot on exploration and returning to places that we'd already been to see what changes now that we have a new season. Um, and being able to find new paths, being able to find new heart pieces and things like that. Uh, I also The reason I chose these particular pictures is to highlight, Oracle of Seasons also reused the Zelda 1 bosses. Have Aquamentus, Dodongo, Goma, Digdogger, Monhandla, and Gliok. And I think that reusing those bosses uh, very much just kind of highlighted the traditional Zelda element of the game. Um, so then, in contrast, Oracle of Ages had a much greater focus on puzzles and story. Um, this was true even with uh, the main element here being the ages, and there's a little bit of being able to backtrack and do things because we got the different tunes for traversing the ages, but a lot of the elements could be kind of puzzly of like, okay, I know I need to get from point A to point B, but at some point I might need to transition from the past to the present or vice versa. And might have to do that a couple times. And overall, just even moving around could be a lot more of a puzzle in this one. Um, we had Ambi and Nehru were kind of throughout the story. Like I said, we meet them several times. We keep on coming back through, and the story is very present in Oracle of Ages. And even Ralph, as much as we kind of picked on him and made fun of him, uh, his constant presence and him keep on coming back kind of um, kept making kept highlighting the focus of the story and reminding us of what's going on, and the shots of the black tower getting taller and people commenting on the black tower. It was very much a a constant presence, that it just wasn't in Oracle of Seasons. And which led to some interesting things when the games kind of crossed over a bit in a linked game. So the differences in the game, I think, were kind of highlighted in how we had some returning characters. Uh, Rosa, of course, appears in Oracle of Ages when we're doing a linked game, and she's kind of our link back to uh, Oracle of Seasons, no pun intended. But she really just shows up to help us get our shovel back, which, considering how cowardly the Tokay are, probably wasn't even absolutely necessary. And then we see her again at the dance hall. So we see her a couple times, but she doesn't really have much of a story presence or anything, uh, which is kind of fitting for an Oracle of Seasons character. That she's not she's there to help us along, but she's not really strong story element. On the other hand, when we played Oracle of Ages first and Seasons was the linked game, Queen Ambi appears several times, and at first she's just kind of, oh hey, I'm here to travel. Neighbors said I should see the world, but then she gets reunited with the pirate captain, and that kind of completes her story. It's actually a very very good touching story moment. Which, come to think of it, she never. If we play Ages second, she never really finishes her story in that way. So maybe Ages to Seasons is the best way to get the best ending. Um, and speaking of the pirate captain, I also thought it was interesting that in Oracle of Seasons, he's kind of the one element that actually does have a bit of a story purpose. First time we meet him, he tells us like, "Oh, I'm not gonna. I don't really want to talk to you. You're not even enough of an adventurer to have seen a ruin," which tells us to go to the ruins. Um, then he enlists our help to find the bell and get the bell repaired, and then he sets sail briefly before pulling uh, into the dock and helping us get to the seventh dungeon in the graveyard. So, um, like most of the actual story development stuff comes from the captain, which I think is actually kind of fitting when we consider what we know from Queen Ambi's story, that the captain is actually from Labrynna, not a native of Holodrum. So, let's see. We also had uh, the other stories that kind of were dependent on our choices and um, allow us to make some different choices and add to replayability. Bipit and Blossom's Kid, we saw two of the four possible results. Um, so I kind of have here all the possibilities. As a child, he can either be shy or curious or hyper. And then each of those can have multiple different possibilities as an adult, depending on our choices as he's being raised. And from top to bottom, he could end up as a musician, which I think he did on our first playthrough, a traveler who basically just keeps asking for money so he can travel. Although if you give him enough, he will give you something when he gets back from his travels. An arborist, where he follows in the footsteps of his dad, or as we saw this playthrough, a hero, where he decides to emulate Link and uh, try to help people himself. So we have all these different possibilities, and carrying over between the games helps it feel, in addition to the main storyline, that also helps make it feel that it's a continuous story and not just two completely disconnected stories. And it also encourages replaying through the game and seeing the different results and trying different options each time, knowing that you are going to get actual, or at least potentially could get different results and uh, not just the same thing regardless of what you put in. And similarly, the different animal companions, keeping them between games helps connect the games together, and having different options encourages replaying, not just because uh, you have the different animal companions, but that affects the specific section of the map that's actually changes depending on which animal companion you have, and you get the flute different ways. So if you want a particular animal companion, uh, you can try to do the correct thing at the correct time to get his flute. Um, Incidentally, I didn't choose sprites here. These are the official artwork from the manual, and yeah, Dimitri has his horn broken off. Um, I guess maybe to help make him look a little bit different from the uh, the regular Dodongos. Also, it doesn't come across as much in the game, but here Dimitri's overall look just seems very young and childish, which I guess kind of makes sense in that I believe his sprite is a little bit smaller than the Dodongo boss sprite, and it might also help explain why in Sunken City those kids were picking on him and he was just kind of helpless. If he's young, might be more sensitive to that and not really wanting to fight back or something. And finally, for this, the rings also encourage not just replaying, but doing the linked game and then the hero linked game to try to collect all the rings and complete your collection. So it, it really encourages continuing to play and explore there. I don't have a slide for it, but thinking about the role of music, since we've been kind of looking at music throughout the series, we still have music being different for each dungeon, despite the dungeons all looking visually different as well. This is, of course, something that has been the case in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask as well, but I found it notable because the last time we had a 2D Zelda, especially the last time we had a handheld 2D Zelda, we had Link's Awakening. Um, the the music seemed to be different for each dungeon specifically because it was black and white on the original Game Boy and couldn't be distinct. So it's nice to see that they're still using music that way. We also see music help set the mood, not just the nice heroic theme and of the main Zelda theme and the more peaceful town theme. Um, but we also have some rather playful, even goofy music a couple times, like when we encounter the pirates. Their music just seems a little bit silly, and similarly in the was it Forest of Illusion or Forest of Mysteries, um, with where we played hide and seek with the forest fairies. There was their music was very playful. It also was used to in Oracle of Ages set the difference between the past and the present. It wasn't all the way on every single screen, but on many of the screens, the past version and the present version would play the same general tune, but the past version was much slower and sounded more more regal and important, and help us distinguish audibly that we were in the past. Um, Similarly, art was used, like visual art was also used in that way, in that the past the colors tended to be much dimmer, in the present they were much brighter, and in Oracle of Seasons, each season kind of had its own color palette, so you could easily tell what what season it was just from looking, even if you missed the cue. For music within the game, we had flutes were used to summon all of the animal companions, and uh, I would kind of argue well, not the central item of both games, but certainly the Harp of Ages was a musical item. And even though Oracle of Seasons didn't have a musical item as its main focus, um, it did have Din was a dancer for a musical troupe, so we still kind of had that musical element, even if it wasn't related to the item. And of course, in both games, dancing was very popular, with the Subrosians in Seasons and with the Gorons in Ages. And yeah, we don't like the Goron dance as much as the Subrosian dance, but the good news is we don't have to do it anymore. All right. So then finally, what I'd like to look at is we do have some references to previous games here. We had a bunch of characters that had existed in previous games, like we had Bigoron, we have Malin and Talon. Um, Talon also seems like he's a reference to Terran in Link's Awakening, not only because his character's kind of derived from that, but also with the Toadstool being right next to him, being a reference to Terran's transformation in that game. And up in the upper right, we have the Carpenters, was we saw in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And so we have all these previous characters or these references to previous games, but we don't really have any direct connection. That is, like, we don't have a reference to Malin or Talon being from Lon Lon Ranch and coming over here. They might have called their farm here like Lon Lon Farm or something, if I recall. But we don't have any reference to them being from Hyrule or anything like that. Big Oron just seems to be a Big Oron here. He's not doesn't talk about having moved here. Um, there's nothing really to connect these characters to their previous iterations. And so I think based on what we're seeing here, it's very much like the sages in Ocarina of Time sharing, or many of them sharing names of towns from Zelda 2. That there's things that fans can do with the theory, uh, with these connections. It definitely seems intentional that they made these connections, but they seem more like kind of an Easter egg for people in the know rather than hey, we're trying to tell a story that really connects all these things. So in that regard, I'll also point out these came out in 2001, and that was a year that the internet was starting to pick up at that time. Although a lot of uh, it didn't really have uh, discussion boards and things quite like we do now, but we did have some forums and message boards where people would discuss things, and started getting people speculating, uh, not just starting with this game, but certainly after these games came out as well, um, trying to figure out if the Zelda games are supposed to be semi-independent or if they're meant to all be connected together. And if they're connected, is this like the same Link every single time? He's just having a lot of adventures, or are they like several Links separated throughout time? Like is there just numerous points in time where there's a guy named Link? And I bring that up because I think as we start going through some more Zelda games, we're going to start seeing some connection with this, and I want to kind of start thinking about like what what were the theories at the time and what were people looking at. So just kind of be thinking about that. That was one thing that people were unsure of, but thinking about is are the games meant to be connected, and if so, how? So all right, with that, I think we are done with oracles. I'm going to need just a moment to kind of transfer some things over, swap my setup to get the next game. So I'm going to switch to the be right back screen real quick, and I will we'll start up again in a couple minutes. So, all right, uh, just hold tight. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Um, let's change our game. And okay, good. There we go. Our next game is going to be The Legend of Zelda Four Swords. And a little bit about this game. This was originally released as a Game Boy Advance game that was uh, it was packaged with a remake of A Link to the Past, and then this was just kind of a bonus game on top. Initially, it was a multiplayer only game where you would actually need a link cable to be able to link together your Game Boy Advances, and um, you'd play with friends. Excuse me. So later on, there was a DSi remake that added a single player mode. So we're going to be playing that. I have it on my DS, but unfortunately, I don't really have a way of streaming it. So we're going to be using an emulator for that. Um, but we're gonna try to play through the single player story and um, kind of see how it goes. I actually haven't played through this one, so it's going to be a bit of a first time for me. And hopefully the gameplay will be interesting enough to last through the story and not too grindy. Although, um, we'll try it for a week or two, see how it's going, and see if we want to keep going or if we want to figure out some way to kind of skip to the highlights or something. Excuse me. So with that, our we have our story for The Legend of the Four Sword. Yeah, Four Swords is the name of the game. The Legend of the Four Sword is the name of the introduction. So, long ago in the kingdom of Hyrule, there appeared a wind sorcerer named Vati. Vati could bend the wind to his will and used this awful power to terrorize many villages of Hyrule. In his assaults on the villages, Vati would kidnap any beautiful girls who caught his fancy. Many knights from the castle and other brave men set out to subdue the sorcerer and rescue the girls, but each one fell in turn to Vati's awesome power. Just as the people had begun to lose hope, a lone young boy traveling with little but a sword at his side appeared. When this boy heard what was happening, he said only, "I will defeat this sorcerer." He boldly entered Vati's palace, mystically trapped the evil sorcerer inside the blade of his sword, and returned the young girls to their villages. The boy then went deep into the forest and disappeared. The villagers asked the girls how a boy so young could have saved them all and defeated the sorcerer when no one else could. The young girls told a story of how, with just a wave of his sword, the boy's body shattered into four pieces, each of which then formed a complete copy of the boy. These four young boys then worked together to defeat the sorcerer. The people did not believe the story, but they called it the Four Sword nonetheless. As rumors of the blade's power to divide a person into four entities spread, the people built a shrine to protect it. Princess Zelda of the land of Hyrule was a beautiful young girl born with the mysterious power to sense approaching forces of evil. For this reason, she was assigned with the sacred duty of protecting the shrine of the Four Sword and the blade itself. One day, Zelda was in Hyrule Castle when she sensed that something unusual was occurring at the Four Sword Shrine. She asked a boy named Link, whom she trusted above anyone else, to accompany her to investigate the happenings at the shrine. Okay. This so I don't know if the remake version had an instruction manual since it was a download only game. This comes from the original manual from A Link to the Past and Four Sword for the Game Boy Advance. And interestingly enough, since we were just talking about kind of the different theories about Zelda and how the games fit together, just looking at this opening, it seems like it could actually accommodate either theory because we're told about Zelda and Link, but we're not. We're told that Zelda has this friend named Link that she trusts. We're not told if this is like the first time that something's happened or not. I mean, presumably Link has done heroic things in the past, so that could be referring to previous Zelda games, or it could just be this is a different Zelda Link. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any clarification as the game goes on. All right, I'm going to try to turn my audio on. And see if this will come up. Okay. Okay, let's seems like it might be a little loud. It seems like it might be a little quiet. Okay, so the way the emulator's set up, for those of you who don't know, the Nintendo DS was or it still is a dual screen system, and let me see. So it would have two screens like this. The top one being the normal gameplay screen, the bottom one being a touch screen that would also have some additional information. With the emulator set up here, the top screen is the one on the left. That's going to be the main screen that most of the gameplay takes place. The one on the right is the touch screen, where it might have some game information and things like that. If you see a mouse cursor in front of it, well, its mouse cursor isn't appearing, but mouse is how I can do like touch things on there. So you might see me lean forward for that. So, all right, let's check out Four Swords, and hopefully the audio is not too bad. We have arrived. That is the sacred blade I spoke of, the Four Sword. Sealed away in its forged steel is Vati, the Wind Mage. Lately I have been sensing weakness in the seal. It worries me. That is why we have come here. Be careful. It is said that the body of one who touches this blade will be shattered to pieces. It has mysterious powers. Legends say that when mighty Vati attacked, a hero arose and saved the people from destruction. They go on to say that by using this sword, the one was as four, and the four combined their strength. Let's check the seal. Step back a moment. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh. Ho 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 ho! Have you some business with me? So, you noticed that the seal was weakening? How rude! No, how rude! Release me! Eh? I sensed a great power approaching, so I hid myself. But my, what a lovely catch. Surely you must be some noble maiden. My name is Vati. I am the great Wind Mage. The seal is broken, so I shall rage yet again. Ho ho ho! And what a gift awaits my return! I shall make you my bride. Onward we go to my palace of winds. Ho ho ho! Eek, help me! Open your eyes! Young hero! Princess Zelda has been carried off to Vadi's palace. Hurry, you must go to her. But you cannot go alone. You have need of the Four Sword. Draw out the blade. Oh, and one link became 4 links. No matter how mighty the enemy, with the power of 4 you can defeat it. The great fairies ahead know the path to his palace. If the great fairies acknowledge your abilities, they will show you the way. If you are able to gather many rupees along the path to the great fairies, they will likely acknowledge your courage. Okay, so paying a lot of money equals courage. Got it. Please rescue the princess. Okay. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords. Alright. Okay. Start. And we're going to do a single player playthrough. We'll have Blue be our partner. Okay. Can't go anywhere else, so we'll do the Chambers of Insight. Okay, good. They're great fairy pieces, not like the great fairies from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. That would have been terrifying. Welcome to the Chambers of Insight. You will find many traps and puzzles in the areas ahead. We will give you advice that will aid you in your quest. Do not fail to heed it. Even if you do listen well to all of our lessons, you must also avoid being careless. If you are not careful, you may run into situations where you hit a dead end and are unable to proceed in your quest. If that happens, press Start and select Retry to challenge the floor again. You will be able to start that same floor from the beginning. First, try talking to my friend near the wall over there. Press A to talk. Okay, so I control the green one. Blue one, oh, I can pick him up. Okay. Those glimmering circles you see before you are warp zones. When each of you stands on one, all will be transported to a different area, where you can learn more about the controls and how to use various items. Begin by standing on the warp zones ahead. The one below will take you back to the map. Also, when you are playing by yourself, you can switch between heroes by pressing L or R. Skillfully switch between heroes to make your way to the warp zone. Okay, so if I go down there, that'll take me back to the map. If I press L, okay, I can swap. Oh, there's multiple warp zones. I guess let's do this one. Welcome to the first warp zone. Enter this warp zone to learn the first set of basic techniques you'll need to know for your quest. Okay, so I see a switch between them to get them both on here. The mystical seeds you collect will boost your power by up to 2 levels. Razor seeds add sword power. Armor seeds add defense. Pegasus seeds add speed. Okay, so they have seeds again. The lovely jewel you have found is a rupee. Your rupees are counted in the wallet that appears in the bottom right corner of the top screen. So you can see just below the text box there on the bottom right. The rupees you and your partner gather are pooled in a single wallet. If one of you faints during your quest, he can be revived for 50 rupees, but the cost for revival will increase each time one of you faints. If you collect a lot of rupees, you will be rewarded. In this world, those who collect the most rupees are acknowledged as the greatest heroes. Okay. So wealthy equals brave, and wealthy equals heroic. Just gonna grab a bunch of rupees here. Okay. Press B to attack with your sword. I just was. If you hold the button down and release it when your sword glows, you will do a sweeping spin attack. Also, the circle and square that you see on the ground before you are switches. Step on the switches to activate traps and move stones or blocks. A circle switch only stays depressed while one of you is standing on it. Okay, so the square ones stay down. Okay. So these ones only stay pressed while... Okay. There are some blocks you can push. If you see a suspicious block, press in the direction you want to push the block. You and your partner will have to cooperate to push big blocks. When playing by yourself, press X to call your partner. He will come to your side and can then help push the big block. When you want to separate from your partner, press either L or R. Okay. Got a rupee shard. Get 4 for 500 rupees. Okay. Now find 2 more. You can open a treasure chest by pressing A. The yellow rupees that sometimes appear after you open a chest or defeat an enemy are called rupee shards. If you collect 4 of them, they combine to form a giant rupee worth a total of 500 rupees. Okay, so this is a big block. I can't push it by myself. If I press X, both of us appear and can push it. And right now we're both together. If I press L or R, then he goes... I want to control the blue one, though. Okay. If you strike your swords together, sparks will fly. Try this in places where you want to light a fire. When you are playing by yourself, stand by a spot that looks like it can be lit and swing your sword. Your partner will swing his along with you. Okay, so presumably press X, call my partner over. I guess every time I press X, I switch to the green one. Okay. Step on all the switches at the same time and something will move. If you do not have enough heroes, try placing statues on switches. Okay, so we can... statue there. Put that there. Okay. Some switches are too strong for one hero to press them down. You and your partner will need to step on these together. You can open that door with the keyhole over there by using a small key. The door will open when the hero carrying the key touches the door. Oh, oh no. Okay, black rupees we don't want to hit. So let's... Okay. We got a key. Okay, shows us which hero has a key. Okay. Okay, got another key. A small key will let you get past locked blocks. Okay. You will find areas of shallow water and deep water. Once you enter the water, you can only climb out of it from shallow water areas. When swimming in deep water, press A to swim and B to dive. Take care not to get sucked in by the whirlpools. Okay, wow, we move really slow when we're not pressing A, but if we press A, then we get a nice speed boost. You will also find currents and rapids in the water. If you exert some effort, you can swim against currents, but you will never get past rapids. Okay, so those must be currents. These must be rapids. Okay, the light blue are rapids. We can't swim past those. But dark blue will push us back if we're not pressing A, but if we press A, we can get past. Okay, makes sense. Strike cracked walls with your sword to break them. Okay. Let's, there we go. You can stand in front of an item and press A to trade the item you have for the one before you. Press Y to use your item. You can hold only one item at a time, so switch it out with others as needed. Remember, you will find some enemies cannot be defeated without using a shield. Okay, so items, instead of collecting an item and having it permanently in this game, items are going to be part of the puzzles. Oh, your revival cost this time is 50 rupees. Okay, it's a little tricky getting used to pressing Y to use the shield. I'm used to like A and B being the weapons. You can become small when you wear the Nat Hat. Then you can go through tiny holes without any trouble at all. But remember, you can only carry one item at a time. Okay, so if I do this, wear it and watch you become tiny. Okay, so I can become tiny. I'm really tiny. Okay, nice. Okay, let's... there. Oh, I just stopped using my hat, I guess. Only one whose color matches what is seen below can walk here. Anyone else will fall through. It is a very mystical path. Okay, so green's going to want to walk on green. If we were doing multiple players, blue would have to walk on blue. Only one of the same color can see the tiles ahead, but even one who can't see them can walk across them. Okay, so... Oh, looks like even if I switch to blue, blue can't see these tiles, but he can still walk on them because they're still there. Okay. This strange platform moves in the direction of the arrow you stand on. Be careful. Haste leads to trouble. The switch beside you recalls the platform to this spot. Okay. Okay, we have slippery floor. If you can get the balls on the floor into the holes on the wall, you'll receive a spectacular reward. Are you up to the challenge? Okay. Let's have blue do... Oh. Okay, just walking into the balls bumps them a little bit, but bumps us as well. Okay, that works. Alright, good. Lots of rupees. Oh. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about which one I'm controlling because apparently it really wants me to use green when by default, so... Congratulations, you've reached the end. Step on the warp zone to return to the previous floor. You may receive a bonus depending on how quickly you're able to get to the end of a dungeon. The less time you take, the bigger your bonus. Okay. Okay. I think we have time to try one more room. Oh, let's see what it is first. Enter this warp zone to learn the second set of basic techniques you'll need on your quest. The warp zones beyond these will teach you about using items. Okay. So it's a little bit disorienting trying to manage two links at a time, but it's kind of fun. Okay, press A when standing before a tuft of grass, a rock, or a pot to lift it. Press the button once more to throw it in the direction the hero is facing. Okay, and I'm guessing a big rock requires both of us. If you and your partner approach one side of a large rock and combine your might, you will be able to lift it over your heads. Can't move with it, but we can pick it up and throw it. Okay. Oh, we never got the other two yellow shards for the in the other room, did we? You can even lift companions and throw them across gaps. When playing by yourself, try switching between the partners and control them separately. Okay. Hey, landed him right on a switch. Okay, it's good to note that the those little upgrade things, looks like we've upgraded our defense twice and our attack once, and it looks like those apply to both of us, so I don't need to worry about like trying to distribute it between the characters or anything. There are some monsters you cannot defeat unless you pull them from the left and right. Be wary of such beasts. When you're playing by yourself, try calling your partner over and then grabbing a hold. Okay. Sounds interesting. Okay, we do that, and then we do that. Okay. So, stun it. Okay. The controls feel a little bit clunky compared to other Zelda games, but I'm not sure that might just be because I'm using a just PC controller that I mapped to this rather than on the DS. Maybe it's a little smoother on there. There are some enemies you can lift over your head and throw. You can even throw them into flames. Up. Up. Press and hold A to grab a handle. Okay, and then pull it in the direction away from the wall to pull the handle. Okay. Okay. These ones are staying out. Ah, so I guess after a certain amount of time it goes back in. Press and hold A to grab statues, and use D-pad to pull or push them. Okay. I know just learning the controls here's, it's pretty basic, although it's important, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing what kind of puzzles they can get with having the multiplayer aspect here. There are some enemies you can lift over your head and throw. When their shell is open, that is your opportunity to attack. When you're playing by yourself, just like before, try calling your partner over and then lifting and throwing them. Oh, okay. That's how it works. Okay. Press A to lift the shining blue crystals, then press it again to place them on another pedestal. Doing so will activate certain devices. If you drop a crystal and it shatters, you must do it all over again. Okay, 5 minutes, 38 seconds. Hey, just in time. Okay, and that seems to have just about brought us to time. So, with that, I will thank you for coming, and hope to see you next time. Have a good week. Night.